This week's episode is sponsored by Rusty's Famous Balls, the jewels of the Duncan family since 2004. I know that sounds like a joke, but it's actually not. So continue listening and learn more.
Digging in the crates for something good. Hidden gems often misunderstood. 'Cause you know there's no such thing as too much. Miscellaneous important stuff.
Welcome back to the show. This week, one of the owners of the advertising agency I work for, my boss, Rusty Duncan, came on the show. And you know what? Honestly, I wasn't sure if he was going to, but he came on and he actually sponsored this episode with his made-up business, Rusty's Famous Balls. So we really appreciate him. We talked about the advertising industry. We talked about how his agency got started, and we just talked. So it was great. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy it too. Here it is. Hold on. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. 40 minutes.
Got it.
All right. Rusty.
Hey.
How'd you get in advertising?
By accident.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Weren't you a media buyer?
No, hell no. I thought I was going to be a sportscaster.
I did know that.
I was, I'm an award-winning college sportscaster, actually, at University of Central Oklahoma.
You were the Boom Goes the Dynamite guy.
No, I didn't do that, but he was one of my idols.
He's all of our idols.
Reggie Miller's looking good. Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of good catchphrases, so
yeah.
Boom Goes the Dynamite was just one of probably many in his little...
I'd say it's his one-hit wonder. It's the one he's remembered for.
Yeah, it was a good one. No, I thought I was going to be TV guy. I thought it was really cool. I love sports, wanted to be around it, did that in college. And then interned at Channel 9. It was right after the OSU plane crash. Bill Teagans was their sportscaster. He died, so they had new people in there. And I just saw the really shitty side of that business. And it made me like, oh, maybe I don't want to do this. And then I waited tables and worked in restaurants through college. And sports, being on TV and like waiting tables, you're always working at the shittiest times. Everyone else is having a good time and you're like at work. And that part, I was like, I don't know if I like this.
Yeah. You want to live a somewhat normal life.
And then we started, graduation was near. We started like sending out I made like a 5-minute, tape or whatever to send to these stations. And I'm sending them to Kearney, Nebraska and Billings, Montana. I'm like, I don't want to fucking live there. And so I was like, maybe not. And I kind of stumbled upon a job in TV sales, and I go in the interview and the two people have their back turned to me. I turn around as a guy I've known since I was a little kid. He's like, Duncan, he put it like, get over here, get under my wing kind of thing. And so he kind of took me into the business from a sales side. And I figured out, it's like, oh man, this TV station sucks. They don't need this. They need a brand. They need something else. And so I kind of got approached from a client to start an in-house agency with them. And that's kind of how I got kind of sucked into advertising, I guess.
But you did sales. But I look at you as more of a creative.
I think I've transitioned to that. I mean, I'm a people person. I like to please, but I also, I get bored really easily. Yeah, so I think that's kind of how I got into creative, I guess you could say.
So what was that first client? Can you say?
The people went in-house with was like Advanced Laser Center. Speaking of creative though, can I talk about the setup in here is amazing.
Yeah, you can talk about it. Nobody can see it.
I mean, there's so much porn on the wall, but other than that, it is amazing.
Yeah, describe the porn.
Well, that's a map. Never mind. It's not really porn. But there's a lot of cameras in here that could be porn.
That's true.
But no, it's like a really freaking cool studio. So
hey, I appreciate
good for
that.
you, Jay. Good for you.
So for anybody who's curious about it, they can either come on or hopefully eventually I'll be streaming this
worldwide.
show.
Yeah.
Worldwide. Well, yeah,
Worldwide.
anything you put on the internet is worldwide.
That's
so.
true. You have the potential to reach the entire world with your podcast stream.
Oh, man. You know what? I have the analytics for it, and it is fun, even though it's less than 1% for certain countries, but it shows every country that it's in, that somebody's listened to it in.
So one of the TV stations is like KSBI, a really crappy TV station. They had like a little one-sheet sales sheets, and one of them said, because they like broadcast the whole state, it's like, you have the potential to reach the entire state of Oklahoma. It's like, who wrote that shit? It's so funny.
If those people were to turn on the TV and watch your channel.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So when, how'd you get to ICG though? And maybe you should talk about that, like how I know the story, but like the way you three owners met up and started up an advertising agency. Like, how'd you get from just one client to having your own agency?
The guy that he turned around at UPN where I was and saw him, a guy named Michael Hayes. He kind of had mutual friends with my business partner Eric, and he introduced Eric to me. And I was working at an agency, and the production guy was going on vacation, and he's from I forget, I think he might be from Vietnam maybe. But when they go, they're like peace out for like 2 months. I didn't know that, and the client needed creative done in the time while he's gone. So I was like scrambling to find someone, and Mike hooked me up with Eric and Doug, who were doing production and kind of agency work. And so I worked with them like, oh, well, these guys are pretty creative. And so we did a couple spots with them. And from there, it was just kind of like, okay, I kind of like these guys. And kind of at the same time, I was doing this in-house agency with Advanced Laser and those guys. It was like, hey, we got to get this thing going. I'm like, guys, it takes time to like get clients and build up and everything. And I think it might've been like 6 months or 8 months in. And they were, I think it was like a July. I remember they like came in here, here's your last check. And they said, get the hell out of here. Yeah. And so I was like, oh shit. But at the same time, I was working on like some of the flooring stuff, and that hit right as that transition happened. And so I kind of somehow, Eric, Doug, and we figured we wanted to work on projects together. And so I kind of started working on projects with them. I moved into where we were on the Northwest Expressway, where Eric's dad owned the building, paid a little rent. And then we started working on projects together, kind of as like 3 separate companies still. And as things progressed, and we decided kind of that we were going to merge our companies and kind of, tackle things together as opposed to as 3 separate entities. So that's kind of how ICG was born.
Do you still like advertising? And I ask that because I feel like you said, I think you can have a short attention span. And also I know you just like to make cool things. So does it ever get frustrating that just working for clients,
making uncool stuff?
Yeah. In that you're required to, because you own the business and you have to.
Well, I think advertising is more, it's like art and commerce, right? Coming together. But at the end of the day, it's more commerce. And so some of the people get it as far as there's a healthy balance. Some people are very heavy on the commerce side and don't want anything to do with art. But I think the way the industry's gone, they don't give a shit. They're not paying attention to anything. And so that's why from a creative standpoint, it's like, yay, we need to create attention for these brands. No one cares how much what your car payment is and all that stuff. You can get that same vehicle anywhere. And so that's the kind of idea that I love, is like being able to kind of create attention where maybe brands don't deserve it in a way, but we have to insert ourselves in conversations, do this stuff. So yeah, I mean, doing the boring stuff sucks. It's so bad. But I think, but they come around eventually. Yeah. Or we find partnerships where that lines up more. Because it's no fun.
But then you're always going to have the people that just want regular stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, you hope the work you create attracts more like-minded brands versus attracts just people that just want you to just basically do what you tell them to do, basically. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, when was the shift for you though? Because I feel like in the beginning, I'm sure you just like take the work you can get, right? Because you need clients.
We were pitching like thrift stores and stuff.
Oh my god. I can see a thrift store being fun though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember what. I think it was so early. We pitched like a Thrifty the Squirrel or some shit like that for a thrift store, and the weirdest thing, the guy kind of talked like this, and he's like, actually pretty interesting. I actually love squirrels. Squirrels are my favorite. And we're just like, oh my god, how did this even happen?
So this is what you pitched? You pitched his
yeah,
character,
like
or
it
is
was
this
like
a guy you knew?
Thrifty the Squirrel for like a thrift store, and it was like some I don't remember all the details, but the guy was like, I love squirrels. No shit, I love squirrels. And we're like, oh my god, dude.
And you didn't know that before?
No, hell no. Doug and I looked at each other like, what just happened? And then like you look back like, oh, we just pitched it, But I don't even care what the client is, as long as if they understand that this is attention, we're in attention business. I need to create attention for my brand. Let's do something like that. And then it all ties back to their bottom line and growing their business. And that's what it's all about. So it's growing their business. It has to be creativity that's tied and kind of, linked to something. And ultimately we have to sell shit,
Yeah. It is a business. You can't just make cool shit. I mean, and what is it like? Because you're an owner, and in some ways you can pick what you're going to work on, right? I mean, you could even do nothing if you wanted. You could back out. You could
as an owner.
Yeah, and like correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just saying you could back out. You could do other things. You could leave. You have some freedom because you're like you started the thing. Right? So what's it like to have knowing that other people, other creatives are going to get bored or not going to want to do the work, and obviously they can leave too. How do you deal with that having employees?
Beer.
I don't think you're sensitive to that because you know what that feels like.
Well, I think a business like advertising, it's not like we're in charge of a factory or a t-shirt that's making, or a company that's just making stuff and like selling it. It's a lot of, the people's talents are their mind and their skill set of how they think and how they creatively think. So it's kind of hard to like just kind of back out of something like that. I think you can build to a point where, an owner's not as heavily involved in the day to day, but involved in creative and that. And we're kind of working towards that. Cause you don't want me managing people's time and stuff, but I want to be a big picture guy more than I want to work on like banner ads and stuff like that. But ultimately there's a hierarchy there involved with, being able to, to work on all those things. But I mean, I'd be really bored not doing anything. And I would love the creative process. I love making clients their business grow. And I love, helping them. And I love doing it in a way where it gets attention in a positive way. And I love that they get it when they get it and they see the value of like the attention, and then they come back and they want more of it. And then other clients are attracted to work with us because they see what has worked.
Yeah. I guess really what I'm asking is like, it seems like in advertising, and I've read some about this too, that it's just people who get into it, it's very short lived, and they move on to, well, either they go to another agency or they get out of the industry altogether because of just what the work's like. And I assume because a lot of agencies, you're not working on great stuff or you just don't like what you do. And so do you guys think about that? Like, are you more worried about, because I like the culture, at ICG, and I do think it's different. Not that I haven't worked at any other agency, but
me neither.
Are you thinking about that, or is it just like you accept that that's just how advertising is and you're going to get people in and out the door?
Well, Eric, Doug, and I are the only ones that are going to care about that business ultimately more than anyone else. It's a career, but it's a job. You guys can get up and leave and go anywhere the hell you want anytime. we don't really have that luxury, or we didn't start a business to have that luxury, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So, you know, people are going to come and go. Some of the people that I thought would be lifers are not with us anymore, whether they moved or they did whatever. But at the same time, that is, at first it used to be a big gut punch, but I mean, yeah, it sucks a lot for certain people, because you're like, man, but it's, and people that have left are like, wanted to come back. They're like, well, I mean, we can't really do that because we moved on. We have to move on. We have to keep going forward for our clients and for the people that, we gotta pay the bills, and we gotta pay payroll and all that stuff. So we got to keep moving on. So
it's like breaking up with a girlfriend. You can't just keep going back.
I know you can't.
Yeah, I could.
Well,
I can imagine.
I did in high school a couple times, same girl, but
right. But then how did that end?
No, it didn't end well.
I don't know. It's I imagine that side's tough, because you want to, especially if you have a good team together, you want to keep them together, right? And yeah, when I said earlier that you can kind of back out if you need to, I don't mean that as in you're not.
You want me to back out, dude?
No.
Okay.
I don't mean that you're not
Fine.
like invested in the business. I mean, but because you own it, you can sort of craft your own experience a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, but
because it's yours, you can say, this is sort of what I want to be.
Yeah, you can, I guess. Yeah, and we do a little
you?
bit. Well, yeah, I don't, like I said,
and I don't mean that as a bad thing. Like,
no, I mean, I think
that's everyone's goal.
I think there's a difference between working in the business and on the business. So right now I work in the business and on the business. So as you would back out, you would work on the business versus working in the business. Does that make sense?
Day to day on projects.
Yeah. But like working on the business is more of like, the agency as a whole, versus in the businesses, scheduling and planning and sitting through every meeting about every little detail and stuff like that, where we have done a good job of finding great people that can handle that. And I think that's the thing early on as a younger company, you're in it and on it all the time. And so you have to figure out when you can back out. And that's, building a leadership team up from there and building people that have been with the company for a long time, and you're able to back out so you can work on it versus in it. And so we, and that's kind of the goal, but I mean, on it can still be in it, if that makes sense. So it's just
at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll be in advertising forever? Or do you have other creative ventures that you would like to pursue, even if you were doing both at the same time?
Like Rusty's Famous Balls.
Yeah, like Rusty's Famous Balls. Is this the plug, the big plug right now?
Well, we just need to take a commercial break real quick. Miscellaneous Important Stuff is brought to you by Rusty's Famous Balls. Duncan Family Jewel since 2004, I don't know.
And where are those available at?
They are available. They're seasonal, and they're available in Rusty's neighborhood and for his closest friends, and sometimes the people at his office. But they are a bitch to make.
Are they?
Yeah, it takes a while.
You should go on Shark Tank. They'll help you figure it out.
That's true. No, that was a complete accident, and it's turned into like a name of a company or a holding company, if you will. But I remember as a kid, like going to like Super Bowl parties and stuff and having these like sausage balls. I'm like, these are so good. And then my mom would make them growing up, and then it's like, I want that recipe, and I go, it's like, I'm sure it's this freaking awesome recipe book, and it's some old ass neighborhood recipe book, the sausage balls, nothing easy.
Crazy.
Yeah, easy. And so I started making them every holiday, and like Renee, my wife, her family, and everyone come over and they'd eat them, or they'd be like, what is this? And then it eventually became Rusty's Famous Balls. And then one day we had like a Dirty Santa party to go to, and we didn't have any gifts, but we were going to give them the balls. And I like called Brandon on the way into the office. I'm like, hey, make me a logo real quick for this. And by the time I got in the office, like 25 minutes later, he had already had a logo made. And I had Justin next door put out some t-shirts. And next thing you know, boom, a brand was born.
God, that's cool though.
Yeah.
So you should do more with it. Maybe you can get somebody else to make them for you. You just give them the recipe.
That'd be tough. I mean, is that working on it and in it, or that's not working in it? That'd be working on it by delegating that, right?
Yeah, but you've already worked in it.
That's true.
Now you can work on it, and it's simple enough, I would think, that you could just delegate.
Well, I mean, there's some secret to it, but
I'll just write the secret down and they'll do it.
that's not how secrets work.
Text the secret.
Yeah, then that's not how
It's a
secrets
secret
work.
between
That's
two
not-
people.
A text is not. It's like
That's true.
You know, the FBI could get their hands
All
on
right,
that text.
Snapchat the secret.
They could screenshot it, dude.
They tell you if you screenshot.
But then they would still know that it didn't matter.
Well, all right. Send a Snapchat to someone you trust. Me.
Yeah. We're gonna coming up next. The secret.
See, but like that there, like you doing that, I feel like that's the difference between people being successful with something and then maybe just working a job even if they don't want to.
Most of the shit I do is like random and on the fly.
But you do it, and to me that's the difference. Some people have ideas forever. You even if you did nothing with that, just like making a phone call and saying I'm going to do something with this is like that could be the start of something big. Even if you decide like I didn't feel like it.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of things that I didn't do, but yeah. I think having the resources to be able to do stuff like that is great, and that's what I think the agency's allowed us to do is like have that creative outlet as far as with passion projects or just. I mean, like this, I think, stuff like this is awesome to have, it's from a side thing. And there's a lot of people that have side hustles and stuff like that. And we love it. And I think it's really cool that you're doing this. So
Yeah, I'm just
I just hope it doesn't bomb.
I mean, it's already bombed, but I have, I think my average listener base is like 23 now.
Holy crap.
I know it's through the roof. It's been consistent though.
The same 23.
Yeah. Well, I forgot how they average that, but
What-
it's interesting to see the numbers.
Well, how have you promoted your podcast?
I haven't. That's why, like, in a way, I'm excited.
So
Because
why have you not promoted your podcast?
Because
You're in
I wanna-
advertising.
I know how to do it. I think I wanted to get to a place where I felt comfortable with it, where I felt like I knew what I was trying to do.
So you want to have credibility with like episodes?
Yeah,
built up?
I'll never delete the episodes. I'll keep the bad ones. I just want to get into a rhythm where I feel comfortable with what I'm doing. I know where I want to be as far as subject matter and get into a rhythm with how I do it. And then I promote it. Like, the stuff I have in here now with the backdrops and all that, it's new, and it's just trying to figure out how I would promote it to make it look good instead of just fumbling around. Because as long as I do this weekly and keep talking to people, it'll get better even if it takes a long time.
Well, don't wait to tell people though.
No, I don't not tell people. I've just been slow about, I guess, spending money on advertising or posting about it because I'm more focused on doing it because I do like it. Even if this was it and I never promoted it and there was no side money from it, I like it. I enjoy.
You're not doing this for money, are you?
I made no money. No, it's cost me a lot of money to do it. So, I mean, no, right now it's nothing. So if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be doing it right now. I mean, there's always that possibility, but I think I think you can't get into something like this for money because there's not a lot of money in it.
Yeah, the ball game's pretty expensive too.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean it's sausage. That's a pretty big commodity. It's a pretty pricey commodity.
What are in those sausage balls, and what sausage are you purchasing?
Well, it's I won't reveal my brand. At least on this podcast. Stay tuned for next week, and I might reveal the brand.
He'll text it to you. Just text me your number.
Yes, and he'll Snapchat it. No, there's a little bit of hot sausage and mild sausage. Some cheese that I won't reveal, some spices, and some, Bisquick.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it gives it that, kind of fullness. It's not all meat. It's got a little bit of bread in there too. It's good stuff. It's
I've only had
delicious.
it onse.
How was it?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
That's when I learned about it wasn't even a brand yet.
That was a while ago, huh?
Speaking of brands,
Oh, segue.
I didn't mean to do that, but then I had a thought. Speaking of brands, how important is it to have a brand?
Like a personal brand or just a brand?
I hate the term personal brand, but I mean, I get it for sure. Some people, but everyone thinks they have a personal brand now and you don't.
I don't have a personal brand.
Well, that's different. Do your
I
kids
mean,
all think
how
they have
important is a
personal
brand? Yeah, I mean, I remember like when, oh my gosh, we were Jack or Bryce, one of them, they were like 4 years old driving by and they see a Taco Bell logo and they're like, wanting that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can recognize brands from such an early age. So yeah, it's crucial, like have a consistent brand that they, you know what it's about and you know what you're going to get. When you go to Chick-fil-A, they're going to say my pleasure. I mean, it's crucial. It really is.
But do you ever feel like you have to spend a lot of time explaining to people why a brand is important?
Some people are a little quick to.
Not that I'm asking for names. I just assume
Susan, she doesn't know shit about brands.
I thought it was Linda.
Oh, Linda. No, I mean, it's like I said, it's like understanding global warming or, whatever lane that people are in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to flat earth, all that dumb
But isn't
shit,
it surprising? Because you think about it, it's very obvious to you because you're like, well, that's what you do. Like, yeah, you need a brand. That's how you sell it. You could have a terrible product with a great brand and you still sell it. But some people
are successful in spite of having not good brands. And that means you're like, oh man, wow, just think if you had a great brand, how well you would do. But I mean, look at all the, like a Coca-Cola or Apple, any of those brands, Nike. I mean, come on. I mean, I think it's just thinking practical on everything too, on branding. You don't think about things because it just works so well. People don't really, they don't know the psychological, backbone to everything, but because they're not thinking about it. But it has a huge play into the way people just experience life and do life.
Yeah, that's true.
Branding.
What do you think about a brand though or let's say a logo that looks terrible, but they're really successful and that logo is known everywhere and the design is obviously bad? Do you have the urge to change it, or do you go, no, that's their brand. It's a terrible brand, but people know that brand.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Nike.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, you could, you want to change it, but.
Because I can think of a couple brands where it's like, that's not good.
Say it.
No.
Say the brand.
No.
Say it, bro.
Actually, you know what? The one I'm thinking of, or that I first thought of, was Hideaway. I think it's Hideaway.
They got a new brand.
No, they don't have a new brand.
Yeah, they do.
They have the weird tie-dye.
No, they updated all that stuff.
I was just there.
Nah, it's updated. It's good.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Even if it's not, I'm saying like it's recognizable though.
Oh, because of the dude?
Yeah. We were like, it's kind of like weird.
Well, that was like 90s or
crude.
whatever.
Yeah, but they've kept it. Or I thought they did.
No, it's pretty good.
I'm going to go by there. I might even go by there and do a pizza review tonight.
Jay hates Hideaway, everybody.
I do not hate Hideaway. I had it before my brother's wedding. It was pretty good.
It's good.
I had the pepperoni and it was like...
Did you rate it? What score would you give it?
I was hungry that day, so I don't know if it'd be a fair score, but I'd give it like oh man, probably like 7-1.
Ooh, that's a high score.
Yeah. That was
and
good.
It's not
that
even
day.
like New York style.
No, but it was good that day.
No,
I liked the
good.
pepperonis on it.
What would you score the ranch at Hideaway?
Like the ranch dip?
The ranch dressing, yeah.
Oh, I didn't have it.
You don't... Seriously?
Wait.
That's the best freaking part about going to Hideaway, dude. Their ranch is like freaking amazing.
Is it better than the Empire's pink sauce?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
You like all that dill or whatever? Oh.
I don't know what's in it, but it's pink and it's tasty.
That's what she said. It's pink and it's tasty.
That's the best. That's what she said. All week.
All right,
all
Frankie.
week.
7-1. That's a big score for Hideaway, but it's pretty good.
Well, what would you give it?
I don't know, 6-8. It just doesn't.
That's close to what
you got to. If you're scoring on like a New York style pizza, you can't.
That's true. Well, if you're scoring on New York style, then
They have like a thin
points.
crust, but I've never had it. I don't want
either.
to go there. I think anyway.
You're drifting away from that microphone.
Oh shit, sorry.
Yeah. What about what do you think Barstool Sports is doing right with their brand?
Whatever the fuck they want, they don't care.
You think so?
I think they care. I mean, the brand is cool, but as far as like from a content perspective, they saw the need that, hey, you could be on satellite or you could make your own media company using social platforms and just like have whatever opinion. Doesn't have to be politically correct. They could do whatever they want. And I think there was a huge audience for that. And so they were just like, jackpot. The Prez basically just does what he wants, or he creates, you know, his own reality of things. He just, you know, the pizza review stuff is awesome. I mean, I love that brand.
Gosh, anyone who hasn't seen pizza reviews, Barstool Sports pizza reviews, you have to watch it.
One bite, everyone knows rules.
It's so addictive. I don't know why. Maybe because they're short. And
they're pretty short.
Nothing to them.
And people are always coming up to him, like as he's talking, he's like, I'm doing a interview. Yeah, what do you? Yeah, this guy over here, look at him. He's an idiot. He's wearing a tie and he's dumb and he's walking. It's like get out of here. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, he just says whatever the hell he wants.
Somebody told me they found him
pretty
annoying,
bad example, but
and I was like, he's playing it. He's like a character. He's not. I mean, part of it anyway.
I bet he's very refined. He they own a lot. They own a lot of racehorses and stuff, so I'm sure he's refined and drinks.
Is he really?
Like nice wine instead of beer and stuff like that.
I bet he's great off camera, like sitting down and talking to. I bet he'd be really interesting to have a conversation with.
Oh yeah, he'd be cool.
You think he's listening to this? Maybe he'll come on.
Well, he is. You just missed him. He was listener 24. Yours only goes up to 23. And half of them probably work at ICG.
No, that's a fact. Although lately I've been wondering. I don't know.
What kind of data do you get with people? Do you like as far as
it
listeners?
shows me like state, city, country. So
time of day they listen to it?
I don't get that, but I can refresh and see.
At what point can you have ads and I
can get it now, but I just haven't turned it on. Because you also have to put the ads in there, and I'm like, right now I'd just rather have better content without ads. And then if there were more people listening, maybe I'd put ads.
Oh, cool. Come on, guys.
Do you think it's more important for heavy content, like quantity over quality? Or like finding out like the perfect balance of that? Because now there's so many people who have huge brands and success, and it's all about quantity. Put out content daily. Just put out content. And they succeed that way.
Yeah. I think there's you can win both ways. But they obviously win both ways by just, like, people have YouTube channels, the early adopters, and they just put out the dumbest videos, but people watch them. My kids watch them.
Yeah.
Some of the dumbest shit you'll ever see, and people are glued to that stuff. It's crazy.
I think it was easier to do back then. The early adopters were able to get away with it.
Like the kids that just open up toys and review. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, we are like...
It's huge. Unboxing?
Yes. It's amazing. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't watch it. Probably when I was a kid, I would have watched the crap out of that. But I'm like, are you kidding me? All I want to say is, like, turn that shit down to, like, all the stuff that they're watching half the time. Like, the fact that you watch people play video games or the fact that you watch that is crazy, Jay. That is insane.
Yeah.
But hey,
you think
I'm not hating though. I think it, like, there's an audience, there's an opportunity, then they go and do it. Kids want Camry, my daughter Camry has a vlog on YouTube.
Yeah, there's
shout out
only
to Camry's
like
World.
3. I was a fan. I was a follower. I was a big time vlog watcher of Camry's vlog. Wasn't that the name of the channel? Camry's Vlog?
Yeah, I think so. Camry's World, Camry's Vlog. But yeah,
you should know. You were the one editing it.
Yeah, I did. And the editing's a lot of work. And if people don't know, it's a lot of work. And if you don't know shortcuts, and if you edit on a laptop, it is a lot of work. And so yeah, Camry, she doesn't know how to edit, and I'm like, I'm busy.
And you're like, grow up, learn it.
Yeah, and Renee's like, can you just post it? I go, yeah, you just guys post it. Just post it from your phone. No intro, any of that stuff. I can't,
You want quality.
Because I suck. I'm slow at that. But I mean, like, we did our little video all the way to Florida or wherever, where we like did the, what is that Drake song? The Kiki challenge in every state on the way. Oh my God, that took us forever to get there. And then I'm like, everyone's down at the pool. I'm like, oh, let me run up and try to edit this, and then I can't figure stuff out. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, God, this sucks.
You were editing that on the trip?
I know, and I like rolled it out on when we were on vacation still. Renee's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like,
trying to build a channel,
video.
Trying to build a brand for our daughter.
You know what? I launched too big. So the expectations are really high with every video. Like, I can't just let them put a shitty video on the channel.
You could, though.
I could, but it would be,
once you've established that you're releasing weekly, would it be better to skip a week or to release a bad video?
Or why don't we just release one a year and build slowly? By the time she's, and then you add one every year, and by the time she's like 16, 17, then she's going to be up to like maybe, 7, 8 a year.
Yeah.
It's a
Maybe
slow
she'll have
build.
30 or 40 subscribers.
Yeah. You'll be in a mansion by then. You'll be long gone with your
podcast.
With your pod. It'll be a podcast that streams. Does anyone else stream their podcast?
Yeah.
On purpose?
Yeah, I've been reading about it. It's weird because podcasting started as just audio, but now it's become more common for people to post a video too.
What's like ESPN? They have radio shows and they like broadcast those on TV.
It is weird because there's like the podcast setup with the podcast mics and all that. But people want to see the video, but I think that's common. You hear somebody on the radio, you kind of wonder what they look like. You kind of wonder what's happening. Even Howard Stern. I mean, in the 90s, he was doing it way before everybody else. He was on the radio, but they were showing what was happening in the studio, which was new back then.
That's true.
But who didn't love that show? You watched that show, right?
Yeah, it was good stuff because they brought in like little people and like weird.
And you got to see it, and that's what I love about Joe Rogan too. Like, if you just want to listen to the audio, you can listen to the audio. But if you want to see them having the conversation, that's available. So I think he said he has a lot of views on YouTube. You get like iTunes listeners too, but also on YouTube. So it's more about having both available. I was reading that somebody they doubled their downloads just because they got video and audio.
Man.
Yeah.
So wait, we're talking 46 people?
Yeah. Pushing 50.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's blowing up all over the world.
Man, we just got to share this thing and then see what happens. Just give it one little share.
You think so?
And see what happens.
I haven't shared it at all.
And then maybe that one share, someone else will share it, and it'll just keep sharing itself. And then eventually...
I would rather... You tell me. I would rather promote this through ads in other states and grow it that way instead of asking people to share something that they don't actually listen to.
So you think people in other states want to listen?
I don't know. I feel like it's more of a pride thing or ego thing. I don't want to share it.
You don't want
friends.
a sympathy share?
No, I really don't, because I feel like that's what everyone does, and they want their friends. They want to tell their friends or acquaintances, like, look, I'm doing something. Look at this thing I'm doing. Share it, like it.
You'd rather get like Idaho famous?
I really would.
Why don't you just pick a state? Like you've got a map. Well, that's kind of a world map.
Yeah, we can look at Africa though.
But maybe you get a bigger map, like just the United States, and throw a dart, and whatever month, whatever that hits, that's the state you focus on, or the area wherever that dart hit.
I like it.
And be like, I want to get, Boise, Idaho famous, or I want to get like, Portland, Oregon famous, and just go from there and see what happens.
I think it's a great idea.
And then if that doesn't work,
then who cares?
Then I would just say maybe get some sympathy shares just to build some confidence.
Make myself feel better.
Build it up a little bit.
No, but what's great about this is I've had such low expectations from the beginning. Like, I didn't think, I've never.
We've had Matt Farley on like what, twice?
Yeah, twice.
So yeah, it makes sense.
So yeah,
from an expectation standpoint.
Once he was talking about how to cook burgers. So that was a short episode.
Oh wow. Yeah, it didn't take long at all, did
it? No. It's like we started and then we were done.
You get Doug about talking about how to cook rice properly, and Matt doing burgers. That would be a great food episode.
Both really they've really honed their craft as far as cooking goes.
Oh my gosh. Those guys are the best.
No, but I really don't care if nobody ever listened. It'd be fine. I think
Why do it if no one listens though?
I did a whole podcast on it.
But look at this setup, man.
I know.
It's like
because
you don't even have a couch. You just have like a studio where you'd have a couch.
Because when I do things, I go all in, and I pursue things. I don't just dabble in things. I guess when I do it, I try to do it the best I can.
Like these guitars, do you play them well up here on the wall?
I don't play them well because I've been focusing on this, but I do play the guitar some.
But if you went all in, you would have, this would look like a guitar center, right?
It probably would. I mean, I don't know. I'm just, I'm driven. I'm ambitious. So when there's something I want to do, like I just do it. I rarely think about, I try not to think about all the things that could go wrong, and I just do it. Because it's a lot of money to spend on this stuff for what? I don't know. Maybe for nothing.
Well, for 23 people.
Yeah, isn't that crazy though?
Do it for them.
I think about a podcast as a way for me to document conversations that I've had, like interesting conversations with people. And so if I did this for 10 years or 20 years, because I don't think it'd be that hard to do this once a week for that long. Down the road, it's like cool to see like how I've progressed through life.
I'd say it's almost like it's therapy, right?
Yeah.
It's very therapeutic.
Yeah.
As far as getting you to talk, getting you to ask questions, learn how to, communicate, all those things. So
talking to lots of different people with
Yeah.
different ideas. So it's beneficial to me every week. I love it. I would do it. I'd do it every day if I had the time. I just don't have the time, but it's fun.
it is fun.
Right?
You've got Legos.
I got Legos on the table. There's beer here.
This place is amazing.
There's cameras. Oh, we got 10 seconds left. 10 seconds.
Is it going to make a noise?
No, I turned the audio off.
Oh.
I learned that
3,
a couple podcasts ago.
2, 1. Thank you for listening to
Yeah.
Rusty's Famous Ball podcast.
No. Well,
I mean,
sponsored, brought to you by.
Miscellaneous important stuff, sponsored by Rusty's Famous Balls. Not the sweaty balls, the RFBs.
Thanks for bringing the T-shirt. And
Yeah. I mean,
and the beer.
we appreciate you letting us be a sponsor of this show.
Yeah, that's so I'll give you a T-shirt.
Do you have one?
No,
Ah.
not yet. I'm working on
Can
it.
I take a blue Lego?
Oh yeah, for sure.
This one?
You want to wear it as a necklace?
Nah. That's dumb.
All right. Okay, well, thanks for coming on, and come back again soon.
Okay.
Unless you want to plug something.
Like what?
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Advertising is crazy pants, and it changes every 30 seconds. So I think I'll stick with it because I get bored really easily. And I think you should too, because you get really passionate.
Stick
Really
with advertising
easily.
or get bored really easy.
Me, what, who, you, what?
You said I think you should too.
Yeah, you should stick with advertising.
Oh, stick with advertising. Yeah.
Not stick with being bored real easy.
I like advertising.
Yeah, it's fun.
I like advertising where I'm at.
Well, you've never been anywhere else, so you don't know. You might like it
I've
other places.
I've heard enough. I feel like I wouldn't. If I was gonna go to a different agency, I don't think it'd be in Oklahoma, just because I'm competitive in a way. So it's also like, I don't want to be like Katie and go to.
You don't want to be a cupcake?
No, I don't want to go to the agency that I don't like or that I'm competing with.
That's true.
Maybe friendly competition, but still, I don't want to go there.
I got you.
So if I did that, it would be because I was moving states, I think. But I don't know if I weren't at ICG, I don't know that I'd want to be in advertising somewhere else.
Oh, that's so sweet, Jay.
I mean, it's true. I've told other people that. I'm not just saying that because you're here.
Man, I'm gonna let you keep this blue Lego now.
All right. No, that's the reason you should take it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'll sign it for you if you want.
I don't. Nah.
All right.
All right. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me on.
All right, Frank.
All right, there.
Well, I'll talk to you later.
One podcast. There knows rules.
All right. Bye. Thanks again to Rusty for coming on the show. Thanks again to Rusty's Famous Balls for sponsoring this episode. And, come back anytime, Rusty. It was a lot of fun. It really was. But anyway, if you like this episode, please let me know. If you hated this episode, please let me know. And if you have any ideas for future episodes, please let me know. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.